Hey, I'm Molly Sims.
And I'm Emese Gormley. We're two girls obsessed with one thing,
Beauty. And by that, we mean everything that makes you look
and feel
beautiful.
We're calling on our favorite health experts, industry insiders, and friends to answer all your beauty questions.
With a drink in hand.
Definitely with a drink in hand.
You're listening to Lipstick on the Rim with Molly Sims.
Happy spring, woman. We're ready. Spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung. I don't know about you, but I think this is the perfect time, Emese, to reset. Just take that moment.
Oh, I'm ready for a reset.
Let's reset. Let's refresh. I have known these ladies, oh my God, since 2012, when they first launched, I think the very first plant-based meal delivery service that was so fucking chic and cool. And I wasn't even plant-based. I turned plant-based. It was like your Taco Tuesday and your Meatless Monday kind of girl, but they turned me into more plant-based. But I have to say, I'm so excited because I've kept up with these two ladies, their brand. I'd like to welcome Whitney Tingle and Danielle Duboise, the powerhouse duo. Okay, they're blonde, they're pretty, they're smart.
They're so pretty.
They're now
glowing
rich.
And beautiful.
They are the powerhouse duo behind Sakara Life. I just want to give them a little cred before I introduce them. They have built a $150 million business rooted in the philosophy that food is medicine. And I'm going to let them tell you a little bit more, but they started with $700 at a dinner party, okay? Over the past 10 plus years, there's Forbes 30 Under 30, Oprah Super Soul 100, the Goldman Sachs, the bank, Goldman Sachs Most Intriguing Entrepreneurs List, best-selling author. And I love this book, you guys. I just want to bring it back out of the archives because this cookbook is so good. Eat Clean, Play Dirty. It's good. It's a go-to. It's basically like foolproof. You can't really mess it up. We're all striving to do better. I really wanted to have them on with Emese because they have a new line that they're going to talk about. It's so good. I'm so glad you are here. Whitney, Danielle, you guys are awesome. And
we're so excited.
So excited to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, and for that lovely introduction.
I know. I was just talking to Danielle. I don't think the last time I saw Danielle in person was right before COVID. Whitney couldn't fly because she was pregnant. It was the last, I think, in-person
moment of freedom.
I think it was you, me, and Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
It was some panel we were doing, but you had, Sakara was flying high. But just to wrap it up for what you guys are going to learn today, we're going to talk about how food shows up in your skin, how using plants as medicine, debunking popular diet and health trends, and the essential supplements your body actually needs. We're going to get all into that on this episode. But wow, 2012. When I was looking back at the notes with Rosie, our producer, I can't believe, 12 years ago. Yeah. Look at how far we've come.
It's crazy.
How did you guys start this? Tell our listeners, what was the impetus for starting Sakara?
This food changed our lives. Eating this way changed our lives. And, it's not dramatic to say it probably saved our lives. Certainly my life. I had pretty severe disordered eating patterns. I started dieting at 9. And I was on every diet under the sun up through my teen years and into my early 20s. I grew up with a single mother on food stamps. And so our relationship to food was also kind of a funny one. And she was always in and out of the hospital. She was sick with a lot of different things. And so I really wanted to study medicine from a young age. I knew I wanted to be, somebody who helped people because I watched so many doctors help her. But then I also watched so many doctors make her life more difficult because they did not have the tools to help her with her chronic issues. So really grateful that when she broke both hips, we knew where to go. But when it came to some of her digestive issues, she had pancreatitis, she had these chronic issues that they really didn't know what to do with. And then fast forward, I studied pre-med in New York City. And then after that, I worked in the hospital for a couple of years as a cardiologist. And we were seeing patients with late stage lifestyle diseases. And it was actually a free clinic in Harlem. And so we were seeing a population that hadn't been given the right tools. And about a year in, I remember having this aha moment. I had been dieting my entire life. I had no idea how to take care of myself, no idea how to nourish. And here I was in this room, like trying to act like I had the tools to help people when we didn't. We only had, pharmaceutical intervention, surgical intervention tools. And I was also, realizing I was on the path to a chronic issue. I had been dieting so long that I had a lot of gut issues, including IBS. And it was at this kind of rock bottom moment where I had done a 21-day retreat that involved a water fast. And I just was so sick. And I was like, something has got to change. I know how to count calories and carbs and points and pounds, and I have no idea what it takes to fuel this body, to nourish this body, to feel good in this body. And I was sick of feeling sick. I was sick of feeling so much hate toward my body. And I really wanted to fix it. So I switched my path from medicine to nutrition. And at that time, Whitney had just moved to New York City. And she had hit her own personal rock bottom. And we always joke, it's like, if you got to be on rock bottom, it's really nice not to be down there alone.
We agree.
Yeah.
We agree with you on that. It's always great to have a partner go rock bottom with you.
We were living together in this teeny tiny apartment in Soho. Us and a family of mice, which they didn't pay the rent.
New York City living. Yep.
Yep. But I had moved out to New York to work on Wall Street and, just in that go, fast-paced lifestyle, going out after work, drinking every night and eating whatever was available in the office and at, the pub that we were going to and that kind of thing. And the lifestyle started to show up on me quickly. Like I had put on a fast 15 pounds and my cystic acne that I had been struggling with since really like childhood, puberty, was at an all-time worst. Just big, red, painful cysts all over my face. But I thought, hey, I'm in New York. You have the best of the best there, and somebody here is going to fix me. So I went around to all the fancy dermatologists that, I couldn't really afford, but I saved up to go to them. And one by one, they told me the same thing. Here's another round of mega antibiotics for you that destroys all the good bacteria in your system along with the bad. Or, when I didn't want to do that because I had lived on antibiotics for years of my life in my teens and it didn't work, we need to sign you up for another round of Accutane, which I had already done and it didn't work for me. And Accutane's a really serious drug. I don't know if you guys have ever taken it before.
I've taken it. It's very serious.
It's serious. And I think a lot of people don't understand that it's serious in the moment. You have to have your blood tested every week or every other week to make sure that it's not destroying your liver. And they, along with it, it comes with side effects in the moment and long term. I don't think that they tell you enough about the long term. They tell you, oh, you're going to have dry skin. Suicide is a potential side effect. So they put me on Prozac to go along with it. Like it's a really heavy duty drug. But in that, you're so desperate for the answer and the solution. You're wearing it on your face. It's something that is affecting my confidence, my career, my love life. But, these doctors, they just wanted to give me another round. And I said, that didn't work for me. And I know that, if this drug is creating a space in my body that's not habitable for a baby, how is it habitable for me to be living in this body, And so I was sitting in this chair on the Upper East Side of this dermatologist's apartment or office. He walks into this office and for 5 minutes is like, here's your prescription for antibiotics. I'm like, no, not going to do it. It's like, okay, here's your prescription for Accutane. No, I already did that. And he was like, that's all I got for you, kid. I have nothing else. He wasn't asking me, what are you eating? Are you going to the bathroom every day? Which I wasn't. Are you stressed out? How do you feel about your life, your relationships, your self-worth? Nothing, because all of that affects our body and our skin. And so that was my aha moment where I had this voice shouting at me, don't do it. You need to go inside and figure out what is the root cause. that is creating these symptoms of acne on your face and treat that. And so that's when I turned to Danielle and decided we're going to come at this from diet, from lifestyle, figure out what is the healthiest, best way to eat on the planet and use food as medicine to heal ourselves.
And how did you guys come? I mean, because it's very hard, you're sitting, you're like, okay, we're going to do this, but then you actually do it, right? Like you actually have a real brand that you started and launched in 2012 called Sakara. How did you go from that conversation to get, that jump?
I think back now, I was really lucky that at the time I decided to start studying nutrition was really when a lot of the literature about the gut was starting to come out. We were starting to really understand that the gut was the epicenter of health. And I think it's really pivotal for many reasons, but one of the biggest is that it really links food to overall health. I think people have a really hard time understanding how, their morning oatmeal or, their glass of wine affects their health. It's like we're taught to think of it as calories. We're taught to really think of it as like macros. And then in that, from that vantage point, it's hard to understand how my food affects my mental health, how my food affects my skin, how my food affects my hormones. And so the gut is this really important bridge where that's where your food goes. So if we can understand some of the mechanisms on how, the bacteria in our gut are informed by what we eat, and that same bacteria informs the vagus nerve, which, can also inform mental health. It can, your gut can inform how much serotonin you're making. Your gut can inform, how you're going to get rid of excess estrogen and how its relationship to breast cancer. Like you can just start to understand how food really impacts your overall health. And so when we saw the literature, it started to really become obvious that we wanted to take care of the gut, but it still wasn't obvious, like, what does that mean? And, you really start to look at what have people been doing for thousands of years? I mean, Hippocrates said, food is thy medicine, and, look to the gut. And so, people have been focusing on what? Whole foods, lots of plants, plants as medicine, herbs as medicine. And so it wasn't a business yet. It was our lifeline. Like how do we eat in a way that transforms my relationship to my plate, but also gives me a body that I feel really good in? I didn't really want to ever feel like I was on a diet again, but I also wanted to look and feel good. For Whitney, she was just sick of, wearing the inflammation on her face. And so we just started focusing on plants as the foundation of every single meal and making everything from scratch so that it was whole food form. It's like if you can recognize the food instead of, buying it packaged, that is a huge deal. And I think people always want to look to, I was one of them, like, the Atkinsite, the South Beach, here's the secret. This is the secret. Protein's the secret. There's no secret. There's no secret. It is the small choices that you make every single day and filling your plate with as much whole food as possible. Now, within that, maybe there are some small tweaks we can make. But even though it's not a secret, it's really hard to do. I mean, you're talking about making breakfast, lunch, and dinner from scratch, from organic local foods, from regenerative farms, figuring out what to eat, figuring out which superfoods to put in, making sure you're getting a variety. Like it's overwhelming for one person, much less for those of us that have a family or a husband or loved ones to cook for. And so we just said, look, we know this is what we have to do, how we need to be eating. Let's do it for each other. Let's just dedicate the time. So we would share cooking days. And we focused on, a whole food, plant forward diet. And we said, let's give it a month. But it was really, for me, it was like the first week was really where I just started to realize that I had treated food as the enemy my entire life. And because of that, so much of how I related to myself and life was just kind of like shut down. And that the minute I started nourishing, it was like, oh, food is there to make me feel better, to give me energy, to be able to fuel my life. And that aha moment was so transformative. And I started to feel so much better cognitively, just like in my body. It always felt like an alien in my body. I don't know how else to describe it, but it was like this coming home to my body. And once I started to feel so good, it was like by week 2, I was like, I just want to feel this way all the time. Give me more. And we try and help our clients understand that, where it might feel hard the first week. It might feel hard the first month, but then you get to this place where you're like, I feel so good. I'm not really willing to jeopardize that. Now we're still the first to, I mean, as you said, Molly, our cookbook is eat clean, play dirty. Like I still drink wine and eat French fries, but it's like, what do you do most of the time is way more important than, the one-offs that we do every once in a while.
What would you say are some of the most powerful plant-based ingredients that can help you with energy, with the gut health, beauty from the inside out?
For me, starting to eat more live foods that were filled with water, with hydration.
So what are some examples of that?
A major game changer. So one of our pillars of nutrition is getting water-rich food into your diet. So foods that contain over 90% water. So that's like cucumbers, melons, leafy greens, a lot of your vegetables, your fruits, your berries, peaches, apples, these things that have a lot of hydration in them. And so, people can be eating a lot of snacks these days, packaged foods, and how those packaged foods are able to live on your shelf for 2 years is they don't contain any water in them because water is life. So you have to remove the water out in order for it to live on a shelf for 2 years. But that water is really essential to our digestion. Like doing digestion takes a lot of water. And if you're not eating foods that contain the water in that food, it has to pull it from your system. It's pulling it from your organs. It's pulling it from your skin. So once I started eating those foods that were really full of water, my digestive system started to flow again. I became more regular and my skin started to change. Like I was able to, if you're not pooping every day, you are not detoxifying your body every day.
I want to do two things. I want to know, Whitney and Danielle, like what's a typical day of your nutrition look like? Like what do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for lunch? What do you eat for dinner?
So breakfast might be something like we have this delicious chocolate muffin, but it's made out of cauliflower. And so one of our ethos is, especially because I lived on diets my whole life and really thought that a great healthy body was one that you had to suffer to get. And so this approach to like living the Sakara life is one of joy. Like everything's delicious. So people are like, chocolate muffin. And it's like, yeah, but chocolate muffin can be so nourishing. It matters what you make it with. So making it with, things like sprouted grains and cauliflower, and you get sulfur rich. Sulfur is one of the most important minerals for skin health, for detoxification. So you get your dose of sulfur-rich vegetables in your chocolate muffin in the morning.
Yeah, also great for cancer prevention, that sulfur. I think it's something that isn't talked about enough and is another one of our pillars of nutrition.
Whitney, what do you eat for breakfast?
On a day of Sakara, breakfast, there's something different every day. I love our sexy cinnamon rolls. Again, it's like...
They sound like great breakfast, by the way. Yeah. Chocolate muffins and cinnamon rolls. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
And, I think for people who don't want a sweet breakfast in the morning, a lot of people will opt for our protein smoothies, 25 grams of plant
protein. Your protein smoothies have always been so good. I love them.
And
so
you can
good.
opt into those as your breakfast, or we have like a savory breakfast option that if you're a subscriber, you can opt into. That's our avocado toast. That is.
And breakfast tacos. The breakfast taco is really good.
And I just got to call out something because I travel a lot and I'm always on the go and I'm just everywhere at all times. I do your metabolism bars. They're so good.
I have them in my pantry.
So I buy like 24 of them and then I'll just put them in my containers and I'll grab. And I probably have 4 bars a week.
Yes. They're the best bars.
Well, our metabolism powder has ingredients in it. It's a seaweed extract that really help your body basically use fat as fuel. So, and then they also help your body not store excess energy as fat. So, our metabolism is complicated, but essentially, as we're speaking to it today, in this sense, it's how does your body take the information in the form of food and what you put in it and turn it into the things it needs to do its functions. Like that is the metabolism. And we all know, like I have a mother who always used to say she had a slow metabolism and she was just born with it. And though that can be true, it tends to be much more impacted by your lifestyle and your choices every single day. And some of them are not choices, like stress is something that can really impact metabolism. Our hormones can really impact metabolism, but we've kind of been taught that it kind of tapers off around like 40s, but it's really not true. When you look at the literature, it's really not until your late 60s, even sometimes 70s, especially for women, our metabolism really starts to change. And so I think that that's so motivating because I think narratives are really important. And if we're fed narratives that like your metabolism slows in your 40s, I think that impacts your experience. I mean, I don't know if you guys have read this, but the experience of menopause and the experience of PMS in Japan is like so much lower than in other countries, especially America, because they didn't have that narrative that PMS is a thing. And so obviously for some women dealing with endometriosis, et cetera, of course it's a thing. But I also think that narrative is so important as we think about our own bodies and getting away from like what's normal and getting into like what's possible. So it is absolutely possible to have a revving metabolism all the way through your life up until your 60s and 70s. And so that's really what we're trying to help people understand, but then also give them the tools to keep their metabolism revved over time.
I want to do a little bit of a debunking, right, before we go on. The wellness space is filled with conflicting advice. What's one diet or health trend you wish people would stop following?
Obsessing over one thing. And right now, everyone's obsessing over protein, and I'm over it. And it could be anything, right? You could put anything in there, but it's nutritionism at its worst. It's this idea that one part of food is the most important part, and that's all you have to worry about getting. And you forget the impact of what comes with that food. So like what comes with an incredibly high protein diet tends to be a lack of fiber, a lack of antioxidants, really high saturated fat. And I think that it's not that protein's bad. It's that when you're only looking at one part of a food, you lose the story. And we are a body. We are a dynamic body. We are not a lab. We're not a fixed system. And so if we look at nutrition as a fixed system, like protein's more important than anything, we lose the holistic narrative that I think is really important to our health span.
Yeah. Food is more than a sum of its parts.
Right.
Food is information. Food is a food. We need to look at it for the food that it is.
Okay, next one, intermittent fasting, keto, low carb diets. Are they helpful? Are they hurtful? Can they do harm? What do you think?
They have some therapeutic uses that, if you're just learning about it on Instagram and trying it out on yourself, they can be dangerous. If it's working closely with a doctor because you have certain issues that you specifically are working on, okay, there's a use for those, but I don't think there's this one size fits all and whoever is shouting the loudest at you, is the right thing for you.
What about detoxes?
Yeah, detox, cold, like cleanses.
Everybody's into it. Cleansing.
I think so the whole point of nourishing and having these bodies is becoming and being your own expert on your body and what it needs and how it feels. And I think the problem with wellness these days is that we have outsourced, our body intelligence to other people who, as Whitney said, have a really loud platform and might have really good intentions. But one thing we try to consistently do here is we're trying to help you build a body that you get to listen to. I have my master's in functional medicine and nutrition, but I don't want to be your expert. I want to help give you the tools to get to know your body and what you need so that you can listen. And so that's true across keto, across intermittent fasting, across detoxing. Like if you're feeling sluggish, if you're feeling like you need something new, it might be a really good time to hit the reset button. Now, how you do that is not all the same. So it's not that I would say all detoxes are great. I wouldn't say intermittent fasting is great for everyone. I think there's a time and a place, but always with the goal in mind of being your own best expert on what you need for your body.
That's great advice.
Yeah. What do you think your best tip hack for gut health and better digestion?
So I think that part of my transformation from chronic IBS, constipation, all the things, always having bloat, was moving from a place of, trying to think about food as calories and less is better to abundance, filling my plate with the rainbow. And, when you think about filling your plate with the rainbow, you're going to have to go to Whole Foods, assuming you're not doing like sprinkles and things like that. But when you go to the rainbow, packaged foods are not full of color. So think about the rainbow, filling your plate with greens, with, and what you get with that is a variety of foods, a variety of nutrients, amino acids from different sources. So your body can make proteins, antioxidants to, help with both give you the bacteria in your gut that you need, but also, help with inflammation. And just that shift of focusing on whole foods and eating the rainbow at every single meal, there's no hack. That is what we all need to be doing. But I'd say the other thing that I think isn't talked about enough when it comes to your gut health is activating your parasympathetic nervous system, understanding the role of our vagus nerve, and that, our gut is connected to our brain via the vagus nerve, they are one. And so how you think about the world, how you feel, how well you sleep, your joy in life, your everything from, your mental clarity and happiness stems from the health of your gut and vice versa. And so, yes, you can work on your gut to work onto your mental health, but there's also a lot of working on your mental health to help your gut. And so one of the things that also really helped me was understanding that, I had spent so much time sucking it in all the time. And it was I just was, I thought my worth was wrapped up in my thinness. And so I could feel it in my body. It was there was so much tension in my gut and just those muscles. And so really working on deep belly breaths and opening the diaphragm and opening the lungs can really activate your parasympathetic nervous system that can then really help with that kind of super highway between your gut and your mental health.
You've been in business over a decade. How did we get from our delivery service, our plant to supplements? Because they're so good. I cannot believe you guys waited this long.
And they're beautiful.
I
was saying that earlier. I'm I like actually leaving them on my kitchen counter because they're stunning.
I've got them here. I'm going to do another shot. I actually already did my shot this morning when I got here, but I'm going to do another shot since we're on
the sleep
here.
capsules. I have been having I've been talking about this now for 3 months, but I've had such a sleep journey.
Me too.
Hormonally, I just think I'm 46. I used to sleep I could fall asleep, but wouldn't stay asleep. And I am loving your pills, your little capsules. They're fantastic. I'm sleeping like a baby at night.
All right.
No, I'm so happy to hear that.
So just because the listeners can't see us, will you kind of talk us through kind of the meaning behind why you did it and also what we do? So I'm going to start with the daily elixir, guys. It's so good. It's like a lemon verbena mint. You take just a shot. I use the top of the capsule. I'm not sure if you're supposed to do that or not.
That's right.
But that's what I do.
This is really designed to take the place of your multivitamin pill. I mean, there was a lot of feedback from, our clients and community that taking a lot of pills was hard. And also they forget. And, one thing is for certain, your supplement is only as effective as you take it. So we thought, there's also so much noise in the wellness space, which, we keep talking, we've been in this for almost 13 years now, where there wasn't a lot of noise. And now there's so much noise on what to do. And I talk to people and they're I have so many things on my to-do list to take care of myself. And then it's your wellness to-do list starts stressing you out. I mean, it's running to yoga. It's you're really missing the point here, you know? And so we just wanted to take all the noise away because, even though we might have really good intentions, more is not usually better. It's not even that more isn't always better. It's more is not usually better. And that it actually picking a few really essential things that you want to do for yourself, which is, why we called it our essentials. So getting a multivitamin, thinking about it as your nutritional insurance. All of us have to make, tough choices every single day on what we're going to prioritize. We can't always prioritize the best meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or sometimes we're stressed, which means we're burning through, a lot of those nutrients that we need. And so we might need more. Our food is not as nutritious as it once was. Our soil is depleted. And so we just wanted to kind of give people this like insurance policy basically, and make it joyful and make it beautiful.
Well, your daily value percentages. So like that to me is where I always look at a label. And I think it's so important for our listeners to understand that. Like you can get a multivitamin. And if you actually look at the daily value of all the different vitamins, sometimes it's only 20% of something, right? Whereas on your label, you're exceeding in some cases the daily value you need of something, right? So you're getting all the nutrition in that one thing. So even if you eat like crap in a day, you're still nourishing your body with that one shot.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And it was really designed to like, you can put it next to your toothbrush. We were like, what are people never going to forget? Like our clients are never going to forget to brush their teeth. They're never going to forget to put on their moisturizer and do their beauty routine. And so putting something that just like next to the things you already do, so there's no forgetting. It's just part of something you've already ritualized, you've already brought into your life. So we're not asking you to do one more thing, to run to the kitchen, take your pills, or like take a morning, evening, afternoon. People forget. So we wanted to make it seamless and easy and joyful.
And I think that like it sounds simple, but it's pretty revolutionary once you start implementing it into your life of like moving your supplements onto your beauty counter. Mm-hmm. So that's why they look like skincare, because it becomes part of your beauty routine.
And I'm telling you, it's why we have this podcast. I mean, I have a skincare line, but it's like, it's how if you feel good, you look good. And if you look good, you feel good. It's not always, oh my God, the moisturizer you're using, like you have to feel good in your body. Like, to Danielle's point, feel good about your self-worth. Like that is part of just living your best life. So the night service, you take 2 capsules at night for sleep support, and you have an incredible ingredient called tart cherry. And you guys can explain it probably better than I can, but I've had some medical issues, some joint pains. And I got put on tart cherry from my endocrinologist, Dr. Jordan Geller, a little shout out. And it has tart cherry in this. These are so good. Night service. I love them so much.
I'm really obsessed with this product. I don't know if we're supposed to have a favorite child, but I think this one would be mine. And it's funny because when we were creating these products, I was thinking, sleep, that feels kind of like a soft one. It's not, like your daily multivitamin and everything. And then it turned out to be my favorite because I feel so good when I take it. I thought my sleep was okay and whatever, but it's how I feel when I wake up that is different, of feeling refreshed and feeling happier. So the tart cherry, we use Nordic cherry, which is like the most potent form of tart cherry. It's great for reducing inflammation in your body, but it's also a precursor to melatonin. So instead of just like taking a melatonin supplement that really can just like kind of conk you out and make you groggy, this helps support your own body's natural production of melatonin.
It's really, I have to say, I've taken it now for 3 weeks. It's really, really good. I believe in it. She and I have had different sleep issues over the past year to 18 months. And I said to her, it's really starting to weigh on me. So I've been really trying to find different things. Okay, cell reset. You have to talk about this. It's like in a little dropper. For you guys.
So the cell reset, it has fulvic acid and wild blueberry extract. So fulvic acid is really interesting. So it's found in our soil, and it's what helps plants absorb nutrients through the soil. And so it does the same thing in our bodies for our cells. It helps our cells take up more nutrients. And so it's kind of like this booster. I actually add mine to the daily elixir, but you can also just like throw it in your bag and have it throughout the day, when you're eating meals, etc. But you can think of it as like your nutrient booster. So it will help you get more nutrients from the foods you eat, from the supplements you take. And in a world where, we designed the daily elixir to be incredibly bioavailable because, as you were talking about, it's like, yes, your supplements can have 20%. Sometimes they have 20,000% and you absorb none of it. And so it's like back to that idea of like less is not always more, but getting like really good amounts in high quality, highly bioavailable forms is really important. And so that's what Cell Reset is about. It's really like, you know, your cells do all the work. And so giving them the nutrients they need is really important. And the Cell Reset is like that nice little nutrient boost that you can get throughout the day.
I was talking metabolism bites. I see them in your hand and
Okay, Sakara metabolism bite. I'm assuming, are they like my bars that I love?
So they come at metabolism in a different way.
Okay.
And these might be my favorite. And
Okay.
I was like, we have metabolism powder. Do we need another metabolism? But these are really incredible and they work in this really interesting way. So they have an extract of saffron in them. And this particular extract affects serotonin and dopamine. So it helps serotonin production, but it also helps so that serotonin is not broken down as quickly. So it increases your serotonin levels. And serotonin is directly related to stress and anxiety. So when you have low levels, you're likely lower or you're higher in anxiety. And when we're stressed and anxious, that is what tends to lead us to sugar cravings, to, stressed eating habits. And so the saffron extract really helps you kind of get to know your body signals again and be able to listen to them. So you don't have those sugar cravings because we're working at the root cause of why you might, which is stress and anxiety.
We don't have stress and anxiety.
None at all.
No.
We have none at all. I mean,
None.
Yesterday I literally had this meeting where like 25 people flew in to see me and I thought it was only going to be 5. So,
oh my gosh.
I know we were all
It wasn't stressful though.
We were all a little like, I went down to the next office. Like I borrowed chairs from Sotheby's. Thank you, Sotheby's. I love you for helping me out. But I found myself after it was over, like we'd served like some muffins and all that. I'm like, just gonna like, and I caught myself because I don't normally like kind of stress eat. But Rosie's sister and I were like, literally, we're like, okay, we're just going to.
Yeah, no, it's a real thing. It's like a real
thing. So instead, we should have had these up there.
Yeah. No, it's like how our transmitters work. So these gummies are really good if you're somebody who has like naturally tends to sugar cravings, or like, late night snacking, etc. Because they also have an effect on dopamine, and dopamine is related to like our reward center. And so, unfortunately our food is really like engineered these days to hit that, dopamine receptor. And they can become addictive, but that's like another way where sugar cravings come from. Is like, you want that reward center to light up.
By the way, they're delicious. They're
so good.
They're so good.
Yeah.
Wait, can I just ask
delicious.
one quick question? What does it mean to be a thermogenic gummy?
Yeah, so the gummies have other ingredients which we can get into too, from like African spice fruit, but it really helps your body use fat as fuel. So like it helps your body like basically kind of turn the heat up. So that's where thermogenic comes from.
Like kick it up into burn mode.
Burn mode. Okay, because this is Lipstick on the Rim, we have to do a little rapid fire. But before we do, are there any like holy grail skincare?
You're both
makeup?
glowing. So what are you using?
They're so beautiful. And I know they can, attend to
it's food partially, but what do we love?
I mean, definitely it starts with food and getting enough nutrients.
I cannot believe you had cystic acne. Your skin is insane.
Thanks. I've put a lot of work into it, and it's taming the inflammation and getting to the root cause first and foremost. And if you don't get to the root cause, it's going to come out in other places because it is your check engine light going off, saying something bigger is going on inside of your body. Starting at the root cause and healing my gut fixed so many different problems in my body, and is definitely the first step in having glowing skin. I also used your exfoliating wipes this week.
Yes, they're so good.
They're the best.
Which really help.
They're really good at just evening out your skin tone.
And I love Marie Veronique's retinol cream that I also use as an eye cream.
Really good. Yeah, it's really good.
I've been doing New Face and
so good.
And Zip.
I do Zip
which
too.
Is the other one.
I do
and
both.
I have one in each hand. I swear, I have been getting all this content from Instagram about facelift, and I've been like, okay, maybe it's just going to be a facelift in like, I don't know what amount of time, and just let it ride, let it be. But these microcurrent devices I swear the secret is both of them. Because I've always had like these lines right here. That's just like what I was born with. It's fine. And as I age, like that's where I'm going to age. Yeah. And like, it's fine. I'm not complaining, but I don't want them to like, sag before it's time. And so this microcurrent, like doing both of them every day, I've been doing it every day for about 10 days now. And I noticed such a difference, not just because I think the new face is really good at like your skin texture and giving you the glow. But then the zip goes like really deep. Like you can feel it. That one hurts a lot more.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
This is going to be like 3 hours.
We're bad at rapid fire.
No, we're bad at rapid fire.
Danielle, signature scent.
I actually really hate scents. I don't.
I guess it would
body
be
odor.
I know. Agent Natour's Shiva Rose deodorant.
Love. And I love me some Shiva Rose.
Yeah.
By the way, Agent Natour, great hair supplement for anyone listening. It's so good.
And
you
I
get
love
it Whole
her
Foods.
hair oil.
Oh, her hair oil.
That smells so good.
The strawberry one. That's
the one with the silk proteins in
so
it.
Good.
Smells so good.
She's so good. I'm sad.
All right, Danielle, what's the best piece of wellness advice you've ever received?
All right. If it's something tactical, I think it's like, how can you incorporate fresh greens into every meal? Whether it's going to be in your smoothie, put it on your slice of pizza, whatever it is, but incorporating fresh greens, it will force you to be more mindful about like, what kinds of foods you're putting on your plate.
Whitney, what's one thing you always have in your bag?
A pair of wired headphones so that I can take a call no matter where I am on the run. I hate when I can't find a pair of headphones. Like that's such a pet peeve. I have like 15 pairs.
Are you a FaceTime or a caller or a texter?
Definitely texter. I think New Yorkers are more texters, and LA, like my friends in LA are always calling me. I'm like, how do you have time to talk? But they're always in the car, right?
They're always in the car.
Mm-hmm. Always in the car.
Workout classes, gym, or hot girl walks?
I'm completely obsessed with like very traditional Pilates, like mat Pilates. It's changed my body and my life, especially after kids.
Early bird or night owl, Danielle?
I recently moved to Costa Rica, which has really turned me into such a morning person.
You live in Costa Rica now?
Well, I'm part-time. I'm still in New York part-time too, but those kids are in school here. Yeah.
Oh my God, I loved it. I took the kids about a year and a half ago. It's so good. I can't even tell you. I loved it. Whitney, most used app on your phone?
Slack. Not very exciting. I'm like headphones for taking calls in Slack.
We always ask every guest before they go, if you guys could give advice to your 10-year-old self, what would it be? Whitney, you go first.
I think it would be, don't care too much about what other people think. Like you're great just the way that you are.
Danielle.
I think something around like the skills I was gaining at the time, like I was a kid that had to really like take care of things, and that just telling my 10-year-old self, like at the moment it feels hard because you're being asked to do things a kid shouldn't have to do, but that those skills will serve me later in life. And to just know that like you're learning, even though it's hard and maybe not ideal, like you're learning skills you'll be grateful for forever.
You know what we love most about Sakara is the quality, nutrient-dense, whole food-derived ingredients in the most bioavailable formats, which allows you to actually feel the results. That is really where the game changer is. You guys head to sakara.com, check out their essential bundle, which includes all the supplements that we talked today on today's episode, which, you've got your night, you've got your daily elixir, you've got your cell, you've got your metabolism reboost. You guys, this is a great set, a great bundle to get. Go to sakara.com. That's Sakara. Whitney, Danielle, thank you both for being here. You guys are amazing. I love you guys being on the show. Make sure and check out Whitney at Whitney Tingle and at Danielle Duboise on Instagram. Make sure and go to YouTube. You can see us in person at Lipstick on the Rim. Make sure and follow Emese and I on Substack. We delve a little bit deeper into our daily lives, what we're doing, what we're wearing, where we're going. I love you. And you guys can get the full-length episodes, like I said, on YouTube. We will see you next week. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to Lipstick on the Rim with Molly Sims and my ride or die, Emese Gormley. We are so excited to bring you guys along on this journey with us. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Lipstick on the Rim and at Molly B. Sims. Or you can go to my blog where you can dive just a little bit deeper into my favorite products, trends, and more at mollysims.substack.com. And don't forget to check out our video episodes on my YouTube channel, Molly Sims. This podcast is a production with Sony Music. I wanted to give a special thanks to my team, Rosie Cummings, Kenna Ryan, Sophine Kevorkian, and everyone at Sony Music. Don't forget to listen and follow wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss out on the fun.